Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I would like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is specifically about the chapter web pages. So one thing that you may or may not know is that BNI Connect hosts web pages for every single country and every single region and every single chapter around the world for BNI. So that is hundreds and hundreds of regional websites and thousands of chapter web pages as well. What we're going to do today is we're going to kind of take a look at the structure of that web page for people that are interested in becoming the quote-unquote webmaster for your chapters. We're going to show you how to go in and edit those web pages. I'm going to show you what you can do with them, what you can't do with them, and really just how easy it is to customize these pages and make them your own while still staying within branding compliance for BNI. Before we get started on today's webinar, just a couple of housekeeping things to go over. The first of which is that this is a live webinar. So that means that I'd love it if you guys would be interactive. So that if you have any questions whatsoever as we're going through the material today, the best thing to do is to type those questions in right into this GoToWebinar software. You have a place where you can type questions. I'll see those pop up on my screen as we're going through the presentation today. I'll be able to answer those questions. If they are completely and totally unrelated, then what we can do is save those for the end. I am scheduled with this content for about 30 minutes. So, it takes about 30 minutes to go through these chapter websites and show you how to use them. That being said, feel free to ask as many questions as you'd like to. I will be happy to stay on this webinar until every single question has been answered. So we do have a comment from Lane. She says, hello from Cape Coral, Florida. So thank you so much for being here. All right, so the other thing is that this webinar will be recorded. We record all of our webinars and we post them up to our YouTube channel as well as onto our support site. The support site you can access right through BNI Connect. All you need to do is sign into BNI Connect, and you should see a question mark here in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. If you click on that question mark, that will take you over to support.bniconnect.com. And this is the support site. The first thing you'll see is our list of upcoming webinars, and you'll also see the recordings as well. You can see recorded webinar series. You can see all the ones from September. I should have today's webinar uploaded in the next day or so. But I do have the first 4 or 5 in the series already uploaded, and I'll catch up with these last couple. It should be in the next 24 hours or so. You can also go directly to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. And up here, you can find our entire collection, our entire library, hundreds and hundreds of videos. You can even watch these webinars progress over the years as we've added new technology. If you'd like to be alerted when new webinars are uploaded, feel free to subscribe to that channel as well, as about 1,100 other BNI members have done so far. All right, let's go ahead and get started with today's presentation. Again, we're going to be talking about the web pages. So for any of you that haven't seen what one of these chapter web pages looks like, all of the chapter web pages are hosted through the regional website. If you're not sure what your regional website is or where to go or what it looks like, the best thing to do is once you're logged into BNI Connect here, click on this regional website button up in the upper right-hand corner, and that will take you to whatever your regional website is. In my case, this happens to be BNI Rhode Island, where I am a member. So I'm a member here in the Wakefield chapter. We just had our meeting this morning. We actually had a visitors day this morning, as a matter of fact. And been a member here since about 2002. So if you'd like to see the regional website, this is what it is. Now the chapters have their own web pages as well. So I can go here and let's say that I'm out there on the internet, I'm going to find a chapter. I can type in my chapter name here or any part of it. And here we have the BNI Wakefield chapter. So this is an informational page, but you'll see that we also have a chapter website. And I can get there by clicking Visit Chapter Website. Of course, I could also get there just by typing in the URL, bniri.com/Wakefield. And this is a fairly default, out of the box. We really haven't done much to our own chapter website. But you can see that a lot of the information here is automatically updated from BNI Connect, and that's the great part about these chapter web pages. So on the left-hand side, you can see our chapter, a link to visit our chapter, what day we meet, where we meet, who our leadership team is, in case you wanted to call and visit the chapter and get in touch with the president first, who our director consultant is and how to get in touch with them. This text in the middle is the default text. It says a little bit about what BNI is. Up here at the top, it does dynamically put in the amount of thank you for closed business that we've done in the past year, which is in the past closed 12 months, which is about $4.5 million for our chapter. Has a nice default graphic here, and the one thing that we have done in our chapter is we did add a link to our Facebook page as well, so you can go and visit our Facebook page through there. On the bottom, you'll see our list of upcoming speakers. That is something that is also dynamically pulled from BNI Connect. Whenever the Secretary Treasurer updates the speaker rotation, it gets automatically posted right to our chapter webpage here. There's also a couple of other pages here as well. So we have a page that we've called Meet Our Members, and every member has a profile. So they can click through. This is my profile on my member page. There's also a BNI news feed that you can use. There is a news button that you can create your own news feed. There's also a chapter gallery. So this is just one example. And again, this is pretty much right out of the box with very few customizations whatsoever. Let's take a look at a couple of pages that have really done some serious work to theirs. There's one chapter out there called the Rugby chapter over in the UK. So I'm just going to do a quick Google BNI Rugby search. And of course, the first result that comes up is their chapter page. And they're in the Warwickshire region of the United Kingdom. So I'm going to go ahead and click on their page here. Now, here is what they've done with their page. You can see that it has a lot of the same elements that my chapter page does. It has the all the meeting location and the chapter information and the leadership team information down here on the left side. It has the same navigation buttons along the top with the same buttons in the upper right-hand corner, and it has the same layout of a page here. Now, they've added some other things. They've put in updated social media connection here, up here, and in the upper right-hand corner. And if I scroll, they've added a ton of content to this page. So this is a very long page. That's the style that they've done here. But they've embedded videos. They've embedded, please visit our chapter. They've done all sorts of things, quotes and whatnot, going all the way down. They've highlighted the amount of money that they've done. They have another video. They put a map in. So all of this is possible through the chapter websites. You can also, they also have their chapter members here. They've added a graphic to the top of it for some consistency, switching between pages. Here's the gallery that I was talking about. You can create your own gallery. So they have a couple of different picture albums here. For example, a random album with various pictures of members of their chapter or people that are speaking. And there is a news feed as well that they've put up for their chapter. So this is one example. Let me show you one other example here from the United States. Another example that I use all the time is the Golden Ideas of BNI. And they're in San Francisco. And we can see the top two Google results here as well. One is to their regional information page, and the second result is the actual chapter page as well. One of the nice things is that we have the power of BNI's SEO behind us when we're doing all of this through BNI Connect. And here's what they've done with their page. Again, the common elements are there. Along the left-hand side, they have the meeting location and the president and the vice president. All of the chapter members are automatically listed as well. One of the struggles that members or chapters have always had over the years, if they, new web designer comes in and they're like, yeah, I'm going to build you guys a wonderful, chapter website. And then they go out and they build a wonderful chapter website. And then about a month into it, they realize that they can't keep it up to date, trying to get members' bio information and trying to organize it all, and just updating the roster within the site becomes a full-time job. So let BNI Connect do the hard work for you, and you can just do the creative portion of it. But the one thing I wanted to show you on this page was that the View Power Teams, this is some custom programming that they've done where they've broken their chapter down into like business to consumers or business to business, and they could see there, for example, the marketing power team or their technical services power team, so they can really view the members that way. Again, that is something that they did do custom for themselves. That did require a little bit more advanced programming than just the basic stuff that I'll be showing you today. We do have a comment here from Amanda. She says, is anybody else having audio problems? If anybody else is having audio problems, I'd be happy to, sometimes if I dial in with my other headset, it works better, but if not, then my suggestion would be to Amanda. Amanda, it sounds like everybody else is doing okay. So if you are having audio problems, Amanda, I recommend that you disconnect and reconnect to the webinar. That usually helps. So excellent. Thank you so much, Amanda. All right, and everybody else that said everything is fine, thank you guys for commenting. All right, so now that I've shown you guys what we can do with this and what they look like, let's look at how do we actually edit these pages. And what it comes down to is if you have ever created or edited a Word document in your life, you can probably edit one of these web pages. It really is that easy, at least to do the basics of it. In order to do that, you do need to log into BNI Connect first. It all happens through the members only portion of BNI Connect. So you can do that if you happen to be on your regional website or anything like that. Just click on the BNI Connect, or in some places it might say members only or something like that. But click on that button or just go directly to bniconnect.com and log in there. Now, once you get there, we are once again going to have to go past the home screen. So we're going to have to go into one of the special functions within BNI Connect, and you'll see that there's these menu items along the top: network, operations, reports, tools, and admin. Now, the way I always remember where to find stuff in BNI Connect, network is going to be the social media function. So it's where you go and you search for members, or you connect with them, or you leave them testimonials, or you participate in the groups functionality. The operations is the day-to-day operations of your chapter. So if you're looking to do data input, like scheduling the speakers or entering POMS reports, things like that, that is the operations of your chapter. Reports is always output. Statistics and rosters and things like that is all going to be under reports. Now this function for managing the website, that is a tool. So we're going to have to go to the tools menu for that. And what we're going to be using is something called a content management system, or CMS. So we're going to find this under tools, CMS, and more than likely the only thing you'll see there is chapter websites. So we're going to go to chapter websites. Now, if you don't see the tools menu, it's just not there for you. What that means is that you have not yet been assigned the role of a chapter webmaster, or you're not in a position that has that access. All you need to do is give your regional office a call and say, listen, I'd like to be the webmaster, and they can assign you those appropriate permissions. It does have to be done by your regional office because there are some leadership team non-disclosures and things like that that may be necessary, and or other training that might be necessary by the region. So again, if you don't see it, you don't see the tools menu at all, or you don't see the CMS submenu, then again, please do contact your regional office. But assuming that you do have that, you're going to click on chapter websites. And once we get there, what we'll see, and forgive me a second, I'm going to switch over to Antarctica. Antarctica is one of my test areas where I can play a little bit and not mess anybody up. So I'm going to go to my Shiver region of Antarctica here, and what I'm going to see is all of the chapter websites. We have about 12 chapters in Antarctica: the Chili Hillbillies and the Frozen Assets and the Frosty Five, and my favorite one, which is the BNI Burr chapter here. Now, if you are a webmaster for just one chapter, more than likely you'll just see the one in the list. So you're only going to see things that you're allowed to have access to. But let's say I want to go in and I can click on the link here if I want to open up the chapter website, and I can see, again, this is a 100% never been touched, just default website here for the BNI Burr chapter. Or if I'd like to go in and edit it, I could click this edit button here under options. Once we get into the edit button, this is the behind the scenes editor for the web page. Now you see that the access is, we're looking at a couple of different tabs of information here. We have the Pages tab, the Library tab, and the Site Information tab. The Pages tab is all of the different pages of the website. So if we click back over to our website here real quick, we have the home page, the chapter members page, the news page. It's the same thing here. We have the home page, we have the chapter members page, and the chapter members page has a couple of sub pages to it. We have the gallery page and the news page. Now, looking back at this, we have home, chapter members, news, but we don't have gallery. And if we look here, that's because the gallery right now is hidden, and we can choose whether or not we want to show that page by clicking the show button. But this is the structure of the website. I'm going to come back to this page in a minute, and we'll get into what all these other things mean on it. But let's take a look at these other tabs here along the top. We have the Library tab, and we have the Site Information tab. Now, the Library tab, in order to get pictures on your website, so if you want to put a picture of your chapter up there, or you want to put a different BNI logo, or whatever you'd like to put up there, you have to get those pictures up into the BNI Connect servers so that we can show them to people that are looking at the pages. To do that, you put them into the library, which really just means uploading them to the BNI Connect servers. Now we do that through the Library tab, and you can upload either images, JPEGs, PNG, GIF files, documents, or Flash objects. I'm going to upload an image, so we just click on Upload, and all you need to do is go in and find any images on your computer that you would like to upload there. So let me just go into my folder here, and let's say I'm going to upload this 30-year logo. I'm going to upload the BNI Connect one, and I'm holding down the control button, and let's say this Get Connected, Stay Connected. You can upload up to 3 images at a time, which makes life a little easier. You don't have to keep going back to upload again and again. Once they're up in the library, you can use them on any of your pages as part of your chapter web page. If you wanted to get rid of one, you could always just put a little check in it and click the delete button. The process is exactly the same. If you need to link to documents on your page or something like that, you can upload documents. Flash is quickly going away out there on the internet, but it still does support Flash objects up here for the time being. The Site Information tab is really a little bit more of a back-end setting. The only things that you really need to worry about on this page are 2 things. The first of which is the chapter folder name. The chapter folder name is basically your website link. So if I was to tell somebody where to go to see our website link, right now I would have to tell them, oh, go to antarcticreferrals.com/shiver-region-bni--- Burr. That's kind of a mouthful. The reason it is that long is because it does automatically create or generate that name as part of the default website generating process. However, you can change that to make it a little bit more user-friendly. So that's really what this chapter folder name is. So rather than have shiver-region-bni--- Burr, I'm just going to put in Burr chapter. Burr with 3 R's. So now I can tell people just to go to antarcticreferrals.com/Burr, and they'll be able to get to that page a lot easier. And then the only other thing, I wouldn't touch any of the buttons or anything like that here because they should be standard within your region. So if you are going to change those, please do talk to your regional office or your executive director first. But the other thing that you can do is if you do have your own web resources, you'd like to track your visitors, things like that, you can add a Google Analytics code into the website as well. If you've made any changes, do make sure to click the update button and it will make those changes and now bring us back to the home page. And now you can see that our URL has changed to antarcticreferrals.com/Burr. Now, one other thing that you'll notice right away is that there's two links here. We have what's called a preview URL and a live URL. Part of working on your websites is that while you're making changes, you're actually working on a copy of the website. So it's this back-end copy that you're making all your changes, making your text, uploading your pictures, and really getting creative with it. The rest of the world doesn't see that though until you're ready. And the act of doing that is publishing your site. So you can work on your website, you can save it, come back to it later, and then publish it after you've completed all the work. Publishing it is as simple as clicking publish. It usually only takes a couple of seconds, and now whatever I had been working on the preview site will now be live for the rest of the world to see. All right, so we're back on this Pages tab. Let's take a look at some of the other things on this tab. Now, you'll notice under each of the pages, you'll have a couple of options. You have Edit Name, Edit Meta Tags, and Edit Content. And for a couple of the pages, specifically the Gallery and the News page, you'll have the ability to either show the page or to hide the page. Now, the Edit Name is really to change, well, that button, the label of what the page name is. So, and if I wanted to, instead of say calling this the home page, I wanted to have this be about our chapter, I could change that page name to be about our chapter. And if I go to our preview URL, we'll see that that change that I just made has happened. So this is, again, the preview site, and instead of that being home, it is now about our chapter. And I can change the name of these other pages as well. Now, just to reiterate, I made that change to the preview, so our temporary copy, but the full copy, or the live copy that the rest of the world sees, has not changed from home yet. Meta tags, you can go in and edit your meta tags. This makes the, it's really an SEO thing that makes the page more visible in Google. I am not an SEO expert, so I do highly recommend you talk to, if you're not a web designer by nature, talk to the SEO specialist in your chapter or somebody in your region. They can give you some tips on how to make your meta tags work best for you. And then finally, we have the edit content and the show hide. Now, again, with the gallery, that is hidden by default because it's meant to be displaying, photo albums. So until you are ready to start uploading photo albums, it is hidden. But if you wanted to show it, you could just click the show button. It's going to ask you, yes, you're sure you want to show this page? I'm going to go ahead and click submit, which means yes. And once I do that, you'll notice a new tab has come up here. And that gives you the ability to, it's really just like the library, but it's a special library where you can create those albums of pictures. Going back to our Pages tab, let's take a look at the final thing here, which is the Edit Content link. And you'll notice you can edit the content on any of these pages. So if I want to edit really our home page, the main page, I can click on Edit Content. And a new page will open up that is really the heart and soul of the CMS editor. One thing to keep in mind, by the way, notice that this is a whole new tab or a whole new window that has popped up. If you click this Edit Content button and you're like, oh my God, nothing's happening, it's because you have a pop-up blocker that's turned on for the site. So please go ahead and turn off your pop-up blocker if you would like to be able to get into the edit content portion. So once we're in the edit content, what we'll see here is the ability to go in and make some changes. Now, there are certain things that we can't change. So for example, the header information up here, we have the BNI logo and we have the name of the chapter, and we have the left-hand side that, if you recall, that populates with all of the chapter information and with the leadership information and the location of your chapter. All of that is dynamically put onto the page directly from the inside of the system. So the minute that somebody changes their profile, for example, in BNI Connect, it's automatically updated on the website. It's automatically updated here on the chapter page and on the regional website and on the national website. So there's much less maintenance of that information. Same thing with the chapter speakers. You can't really edit that portion of the page. What you can edit is that middle piece. So again, the words, the verbiage, the pictures, you can put Facebook links and things like that on there. And we do that through this window in the middle here, and you'll see that it's laid out a lot like a Word document, where we can just kind of go in and start updating the text. And you should recognize most of these icons up here, they're really the same functionality that you would find in something like Microsoft Word. So, for example, I can highlight this text, I can make it bold, italic, I can grab this, I can underline it, I can go in and just add, let's say, a numbered list. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can add bullets. I increase and decrease the paragraph. Block quotes. All sorts of things that you really would find in any everyday word processing. Color sizes, color and font sizes. You can change those as well. One thing I will caution you against is to be careful with the font. Arial is the branded font for BNI, so we do highly recommend and ask that you please keep the font to the Arial family. That being said, I'm sure there are appropriate uses of other ones, other fonts, but again, please do try to keep it to Arial. But you can change the sizes and things like that as well. There are some specific web type functions that exist here. There is a form building option up here. You can use that. You will need some advanced coding knowledge in order to get those forms to work properly. That's not quite as plug and play as just dropping in a checkbox. You have to do something with it. If you wanted to, let's say, add a link or a graphic, so let's say that you don't like this default BNI graphic in here, you'd like to put up a picture of your chapter, what you do is you can use the picture button here. So if I wanted to add a picture in, I would insert a picture by clicking that image button. I would click Browse Server, and this is where it's going to bring us to our library of images that we uploaded earlier. So there's a couple of just default graphics in here that you're welcome to use. And then there's the 3 that I uploaded. Remember the 30-year, this BNI Connect one, and this Get Connected. So I can grab this Get Connected. I can see that that is a humongous image. I probably want to shrink that down a little bit, maybe 150, and click OK. And now I have a graphic of my own in there. Now you may also want to do things like link text to a website. So for example, if I say, put in the word BNI HQ or something in here, and I want that to link to the BNI headquarters site, I can highlight this and choose this link button. And there I can type in www.bni.com, and that way anybody that clicked on this BNI HQ, they would be brought over to the BNI.com website. Sean brought up a really good point. He said, generally speaking, it's best practice not to underline stuff within your web page. And the reason for that is they may confuse it with an actual link. So excellent point, Sean. Thank you so much for that. That is some good practice. All right, you can do the same thing with pictures, by the way. So let's say I wanted somebody, when they clicked on this picture, to go to the BNI support site. I would click on the picture and click the link button here, and I would type in, support.bniconnect.com. And that way, whenever somebody clicked on the picture, it would bring them to that site. Once you've made your creative adjustments to the page, all you need to do is click Save, or you can click Preview if you'd like to see it as well. And this is a preview of what my page is going to look like. Now I'm going to go back to the edit for 1 second, because if you are a coder, if you are an actual web person and not someone just pretending to be one on TV like I am, there is the source code available to you for that page. All you need to do is click the source button in the upper left-hand corner, and you can really go in and directly edit that code. You'll have to do this for some advanced things, like if you wanted to put in a video, for example. The best way to do that is to host that video on, let's say, YouTube or Vimeo or something like that, and then you want to go and embed it into the website. It's really easy to do. I can show you that if anybody's interested as a little bonus at the end. If you wanted to put your Facebook link in there, for example, that's another thing that you could embed that JavaScript in. Usually you want to use iframes and things like that. Once you're happy with it, you can go and take a preview of it by looking at the preview site and really interact with it and see if it's working the way you want it to. For example, I clicked on that link and it brought me over to the support portal, which is what I expected it to do, but it did bring me into, it overwrote that tab, so I might want to go back and make that open in a new tab or something like that. Now you'll notice the live site isn't changed yet, so the rest of the world is still seeing the original website. When I'm ready to make that go live, I would click the publish button. Now, if I go back to the live site, all of my wonderful, gorgeous, creative changes are now there for the whole world to see. So if anybody goes to antarcticreferrals.com/Burr, you will see my lovely new chapter page. And that, my friends, is the basics of how to be a chapter webmaster. What I'd like to do is, we are at the bottom of the hour. I'd like to say thank you to everybody for being here, especially if there's anybody that needs to run off right away and get to another appointment. Thank you for investing your time and learning more about BNI Connect today. That being said, for those of you that want to stick around for a couple of more minutes, I am happy to open this up for questions. Any questions at all about BNI Connect, whether it's about the chapter websites or anything else in BNI Connect, feel free to ask those questions. This is what I do all day, every day. I answer questions about BNI Connect, so and I do love my job. So please do ask questions. We have a couple of requests already for how to embed a video into your chapter page. So I'm going to show you that just right about now. All right, so please do start asking those questions. Let's take a look at embedding videos. So pretty easy to do. So the first thing you need to do is you need to usually create some type of a YouTube account or a Vimeo account, because you want to host those videos there. So I happen to use YouTube, but it is not the only one out there. Because I use YouTube, I have a ton of videos up there. For example, all these BNI Connect webinars. So I'm going to go to the YouTube page that I have my videos hosted at. And again, YouTube is free, by the way. So you can, this is a free YouTube account. I've got gigabytes and gigabytes of videos up there. I just pick the video I want. So let's say one of these educational moments. So educational moment on how to invite a visitor. So I'm going to go to that video. And this is the video. Now, right here on this page, I have a share option. And with that share option, I have three options: share, embed, email. Now, if I just wanted to drop a link on there, I could just drop a link and people would have to open that up in a new window and see it. But if I want them to actually see the video inside of a frame within the page, what I'm going to do is click embed. And this will give me the whole video that I can just drop right onto the page. You can click the Show More button. So this is showing me it's going to be about this size. I can change the size if I want it to be smaller or larger. Let's say I only want it to be about 300 pixels wide. I can do that. I can turn on or off the controls, what have you. And then all I need to do is grab this code here. So it does all the hard work for you. Control C to copy. Now go back to my regional or my chapter site, and let's say that I want this to be, right on the home screen, or maybe I want it to be on, I don't know, the chapter members page. Now, some of the other pages you can only edit, like the header and the footer part of the page. But let's say I want this video to be the header saying, yeah, be a visitor to our chapter or something like that. So right up here at the header, I'm going to click the source button. And right now there's nothing in there, so that's why we're not seeing anything. And I just need to paste this into the source code. When I click source again, we'll see a placeholder for the video. I can save that, and now we can see that on the page that video is embedded. So another little trick for you, by the way, about our chapter page, so our main page, this has a whole lot of stuff on it now. So getting it placed exactly where you want it to can sometimes be a little tricky. So what I usually do is I go in and I put some text there, like XXXXXXX. Then I go into the source code, and I should be able to find that XXXXXXX somewhere. So that's this line right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my XXX line out and replace it with my iframe. Click the source, and now my iframe should be right where I wanted it to be, where I put that XXXXX there. And again, when I save this and I preview it, there's my video embedded onto my page. So a couple of people asked that question. I think Amanda asked that question. Scott possibly asked that question. Jody, I think, asked that. You guys, does that help? Does that answer your question? Is that clear enough on how to embed a video into your page? All right. So a couple more things. Let's see. Erica just says, thank you very much for breaking it down for those of us that aren't quite, web people. So you're very welcome. Let's see. Jody says, how can I add the amount of closed business to auto-populate? It has been deleted from our homepage. Uh-oh. All you need to do is go into the edit content, and there is only this one variable available, which will auto-populate that, and it's pound TYFCB pound, all lowercase. That is case sensitive, by the way. So this variable will pull the thank you for closed business number from the POMS report for your chapter and drop it in there. So just keep in mind, it is going to be the last completed 12 months of data, which means that it's right now it's pulling through August 31st. So it's not a day-to-day or week-to-week update. It's the last full 12 months. All right. So let's say you submit a couple of $100,000 worth of work this week at your BNI meeting. It won't be updated until next month. All right. Does that help, Jody? Awesome. Scott says, is there a maximum amount of pages we can create in the menu? About, contact, etc. Yes, the maximum amount of pages is the exact number of pages that are there. You can't actually create any more pages right now for the chapter sites. It is limited to the pages that you see there. So you have really the bulk of your editing and the bulk of your creativity is going to go into that about our chapter page. Of course, some have done things like repurpose the gallery to make it more of a news feed style, things like that. But really you're kind of locked into that main home page there. All right, let's see. Chris says, who in our chapter can add me as webmaster so I can have access? That is done by your regional office. So please contact your executive director or your region. If you're not sure who to contact or where to contact them, the best thing to do is to, again, click on this regional website button in the upper right-hand corner, which will take you to your region website. Then click on the contact page. And this will give you phone numbers and address and all of that other information for your regional office. Depending on the size of your region, it may be your executive director, it may be your regional admin, it may be your area director, but I'd start with your regional office there. And if you're still unsure, shoot me an email, support@bniconnect.com, and I'll make sure that you get connected to the right person. All right, let's see what we got here. Another couple of questions. Lance says, is JavaScript able to be used in the HTML view to create a countdown for an event or some other custom items? Yes, you can insert various scripts and things like that in there. From a technical perspective, I am not a web designer or web programmer. I know just about enough to be dangerous and to kind of teach you guys the basics, but if you have a specific snippet of code or something like that you'd like to find out if it works, or you're questioning whether it would work, if you could email it over to us, support@bniconnect.com. I would be happy to get that to the, we do have a web team as part of the support group, Frank Ruiz and John Lyle. They handle the support of really this public website part of it. So they'd be able to take a look at that and tell you if it's compatible or if it's going to work, or if it's a bad idea to use that particular code. So does that help, Lane? Excellent. While we're on the subject, I will caution you, people have input code in there that has broken their sites, and we have to throw them away and recreate them at times. So you do need to be a little bit careful with that as well. All right, Sean says, excellent XXXXXX tip. Glad you mentioned it. And you are very welcome. That is my last question or comment that I have up on my screen. Sean says that he's jealous because they're in British Columbia, Canada, which is new to BNI Connect, so they have not yet switched over to the BNI Connect sites, and therefore they don't have the chapter websites yet. Thank you for your patience, Sean. They will be moving over at some point, hopefully in the near future. I do know that with Canada, because you guys are bilingual up there, there are some issues with the bilingual aspect of the, especially the regional and the national websites, and that's really what's holding it back at the moment, because it is a legal requirement that it is bilingual, fully bilingual. So that's what we're working on. It is definitely on our list of things that we need to look at in BNI Connect, and I will make sure that I work with our project manager, our new director of global technology, on making sure that there's visibility to that requirement as well. All right. So hopefully that helps, Sean. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Going once? Going twice? All right, just a reminder, this is recorded, including all of this questions, so feel free to go back and review this. I'll have it up onto the support site and on our YouTube channel as quickly as possible. I also accept referrals. A great referral for me is to please let your other chapter members know about these webinars. We hold a series of at least 9 webinars on a monthly basis. So the first series, the first 5 webinars are for members, so all the new members in your group that need to learn how to do the online referrals and need to learn how to update their profile. We hold that live every month, and of course we do record them as well. And then we have a series for leadership teams and special positions like yours. Our very next one is going to be next Wednesday. So next Wednesday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's 8 p.m. UK time. we're going to be going over the goals program. If you happen to be on the leadership team or you're coming into the leadership team, we have a whole goals program built into BNI Connect where you can go in, record what your chapter goals are. How big do you want your chapter to be? How much money do you want to earn next year? How many referrals do you want to pass? And then it will track those goals for you throughout the year. So, as you're submitting POMS report, it'll say, yeah, you're 75% to your goal, or, your shortfall on your goal. So we're going to show leadership teams how to enter their chapter goals and how to follow up with them throughout the year. And then finally, next Thursday, our last webinar, live webinar of this month, is on the leadership team tools and reports. We're going to go deep and dive deep into the system, show you how to do, especially for all the incoming teams that are coming on board in October. We're going to show you how to enter POMS reports, how to do speaker rotations, and how to do mentor pairings and all of that stuff, and also some of the statistical reports that are very, very useful for the chapter. That one is an hour-long webinar because there's a lot of material to cover. And then we'll start the whole series again in October. So if you could please share the knowledge and share the wealth and invite people to join these webinars, that would be a good referral for me. Thank you guys so much for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Happy connecting, everyone.